All right, so for everybody that's wondering, we are recording this webinar. We just started recording. So everybody say hello. We have 118 attendees on right now. This recording will be loaded up to our Facebook and our YouTube channel at the end of the week, maybe next week. So anybody that's missed it today, you'll be able to see it next week. So we appreciate you being here today. All right, so I'll do one more last introduction. I'm Kate Redden, staff support and event coordinator at MAR. I'm really privileged and honored to be a part of this webinar today with this powerhouse team. I'm going to do a couple housekeeping items for everybody today. So our panelists will be able to see some Q&A only if it's directed from me or our moderator, Lauren Merriweather. So if you have questions for our panelists today, please use the Q&A feature. You'll see that on your bottom toolbar on the left side. It says Q&A. So we'll be able to manage that, and I'll be able to send those questions to Lauren, our moderator, or directly to a panelist if it pertains. If you want to just chit chat amongst yourself and say, wow, Shannon looks great, or look at Lori's shirt, then that's the place to do that. So we're a community. We're excited to see all of you. We're excited for you to be with us today. So please use that chat and Q&A feature. Be patient. This is all new for all of us. So if your question comes through and we haven't responded right away, just give us a minute and we'll make sure that we get to you. I'm going to do a little share screen here so that I can introduce our panelists for everybody and we can get this show started. All right, so this is part of our webinar series of connection, confidence, and commitment. And this has been a big part of what MAR has been working on, and myself and O'Hara have been working on, and Katie for several weeks. So we appreciate you guys all tuning in today. Today we have a powerhouse lineup. Our moderator is Lauren Merriweather. She is our MAR Affiliate Council President, and she's with Memphis Title Company. Our panelists include Judy McClellan with Judy Mac Team. Hey, Judy, thanks for being here. We have Shannon McWaters with McWaters and Associates. We have Lori Stiles with the Stiles Law Firm and Stiles Creative, and Christy Stokes with Choice Home Warranty. We also just want to recognize some sponsors. Our sponsors have been incredible to MAR through all of this, and we just want to recognize them for today. We have Kathy Thurman Edwards with State Farm. We have Tennessee Housing Development Agency, Trustmark, and Waddell and Associates. So thank you to our sponsors for making this happen. And we will recognize the next section at the end of this meeting. So I'm going to get out of here and stop sharing my screen. Perfect. So Lauren is our moderator today. I'm going to close my screen down and let her take the show from here. And thank you everybody for being here. We appreciate you. Bye.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
I am thrilled to be here with this panel of some of the most iconic and recognizable brands in all of Memphis real estate, and what happens to be some of the smartest and funniest and most generous women I know who are willing to share with us everything they know about branding and marketing. So we're going to get it kicked off by hearing from the panel what branding means to you and how you created your brands. And we're going to start with Judy first.
Good morning. When I started in real estate, branding was not a big deal. So we made the determination that our branding needed to be the personality and the package of our business. Does that make sense? So one of the things we were thinking about is that in our values, we need it to be fun, we need it to be professional, but we need to have integrity. So what we did is I did a series of postcard campaigns that I sent out to my sphere of influence for a year. Shannon, are you ready? Crib too small, no crib at all. Called Judy Mac. That's one of the first ones.
So good.
I can hardly wait to make your sale or purchase an easy rider.
Oh my gosh.
Because of you, such and such year was a great year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Shannon remembered this, and I love this one. Your leprechaun should be green, but your agent needs to be experienced. Now, people said to me, why would you do this? Well, I got this from an idea from a superstar in the Baltimore area that he sold vacation properties, and he would take that picture, go out and put it in the sand and take pictures. And I looked at Mickey and I said, Lord have mercy, I can do that. So for a year, we did a drip of this postcard campaign, and it turned out, in fact, it was so much fun doing this that we look at this and say, why can't we do something like this again? It was an absolute blast. Then as we were going on our branding mission, then we said, we've got to create something that's professional. We reached out to a company in California by the name of Hobbs Herder. And we heard about Hobbs Herder at convention. Hobbs Herder created a list of marketing materials that were professional, that would hopefully set us apart. It would be letterhead, so y'all can kind of see this. This is in the beginning. Note cards, and at that time, brochures were very much the thing of the business. People wanted to see, number one, who you are, what you do, and something about your lifestyle. So we created that brochure and had an absolute blast with the number of mailings that we did. This has been what we call the foundation of our branding. In addition to that, we needed to instill value. We needed to instill integrity. We've always said that you can't do any amount of marketing if you don't have at your core integrity of who you are. So we have built a lifetime, a career of allowing pieces to be produced for us. But at the end of the day, people have to know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, that your relationships are important. That integrity has to be the thread that runs through all of it. Now, that's the professional end of it. But the fun has absolutely been these crazy cards and things that we have created through the years. So somebody that's a new agent, this is not to say you need to go do this, but this is certainly something that you could embrace depending on your personality. Shannon can do some things that I wouldn't even attempt, but for this type of thing, I embraced it, and it has been such a blast. But now with branding in social media, there's a little different twist to it than when we started. So hopefully this will give you kind of an idea of what branding started out for us and where we have evolved as of today.
Love it.
Okay, Shannon, do you want to tell us a little bit about your strategy for creating a brand?
Sure thing. So after listening to Judy, I perhaps am still in the diaper wearing phase of my career. I've been doing this about 10 years. I have a feeling though, in 30 years, I'll still be in the diaper wearing phase. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Who's nervous? Me. So if you see my eyes darting side to side, save your little finger strength and don't say, look at the camera. What are you doing? Why is she looking over here? I have notes. I have to have notes. If I don't have notes, I'm going to forget what I'm saying. I'm going to blank out. I'm going to blurt out words like squirrel, ravioli, and then I'm going to spend 30 minutes telling you what I had for breakfast. So the notes are for your own good. All right, branding. Branding is the art of storytelling to me. One definition of branding is to mark something with a branding iron. A great example of that is when we were talking before the chat and Judy was talking about marketing before there was marketing. I said, oh, no. You did this one thing and you were in a Santa sleigh. And she was like, oh, you mean this? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's branding. That's it. So if you've ever seen a cow branding, so the first thing you do is you pick your cows. Every good cowboy knows they are not all going to be your cows. You have to define your audience. You do that by asking two questions. How do you want to be perceived? And how do you want people to describe the experience of working with you when it's all over? And did those two things match up? This is your brand. You have to stick to it. Don't confuse the cows. You tell your story, you mark your brand with logos, flyers, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you negotiate. Everything you do, that is your brand. It's not something that you create up in the sky. Your brand is you. My brand is real estate is fun. Woohoo! That's basically how I make my living. Everybody on this webcast knows real estate is hard as hell. It is not easy. It is not fun. Sometimes it's fun, but the people who really embrace it and do well are the ones that make it fun and easier for their clients. I work my share of 17 and 18-hour days. I have days that I don't eat. I skip bathroom breaks. I work just as hard as everybody else, but my clients don't see that. They know I work hard, but I do not project my stress on them. I take the stress off of them, and then I find ways for us to have a little fun, to make it exciting, to pick out paint colors. Where's your baby nursery going to be? Act a little silly, not be so serious. One really good example of this is, like, I show up to listing appointments and clients will say, okay, woohoo, we're gonna make a video, let's do the video. And I go, wait, no, we're not making a video. I don't do one every single time. I have an inspector that I used one time for the first time, and he showed up and he's like, okay, this is gonna be fun. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I go, you're gonna do an inspection and I'm gonna hope my deal doesn't blow up. This is not fun, we're here to work. And I was like, oh wait, they believe my brand. Okay, yeah, no, this is fun. Yeah, sure, we're having fun. But here's the thing. You have to know your cows. I know you're going to get a little tired of the cow thing, but just stick with me here. You need to know everything about the people you are targeting. Where do they live? Who do they hang around with? What kind of money do they make? What things do they find interesting? Because the better you know them, the better you can communicate with them. If you're not sure how to do this and you're new in your career, I'll give you one little important tip here. Leadership MAR. It changed my career. It does things. It teaches you about you, but it teaches you about other people. It tells you all about the cows, tells you what kind of cowboy you are. It's a very valuable tool that we can utilize through MAR. Okay, so Judy's professional. She's a businesswoman. Shannon wears mustaches and hops over fences. Judy would never, probably today, apparently she would in the past, she'd wear a diaper, but probably today she's not going to wear a wig and mustache to work. My cows are not her cows. Look, I want to walk in right now and say, Shannon Mack here, do a little mic drop, get the listing, and turn around and walk out of the room. Doesn't work that way for me, unfortunately. It's okay. I am not a badass cowboy. I am an awkward cowboy. We're both good cowboys, though. And okay, one cowboy probably sells a few more houses than the other one, but that's fine. Look at your brand. What message do you send people with your brand? When they're done, how would they describe their experience with you? My brand is different than Judy's brand, but what's the same is the brand that we put out there, that person shows up every single day. I've been doing this for 10 years. My brand has changed a lot over the years. Okay, one more cow thing. Once the cowboy has all the cows all buttoned up, then he brands them. He marks them forever. You've got to be more than skin deep. You have to burn your brand into people's subconscious. 3 years ago, I made my first video. Some videos get 300 views. Some videos get 30,000 views. Videos are my vehicle to deliver my brand. They are not my brand. Those videos aren't going to be popular forever. I have to have more than just a video. My brand says, I'm going to take a stressful experience and I'm going to make it easier for you. What my people report afterwards is pretty close to what I promised. Many things that I do probably look off the cuff, not thought through, but make no mistake, I put a lot of thought into everything I put out there. Brochures, photos, washing bread videos. I'm always establishing my brand and telling people what to expect from me.
Thank you, Shannon. I love that. Christy, do you want to share?
So I have to go after both of those. Holy cow.
Sorry.
So I've been doing this for 13, 14 years in the home warranty business, the 13, 14 summers, long, hot summers. So when I first started, I didn't know what I was getting into corporate-wise. I had been a room mother. I had been a mom. That's all I knew. So I took that and decided, okay, I'm just going to be a room mother for all of these realtors. I know how to feed them. I can play games with them. I can entertain. I can do different things to help them stay motivated. And I know so many of you have heard my dad's story. He would always tell me, be enthusiastic every morning, getting out in front of school, and I would just roll my eyes. But that stuck with me. So that is all that I've known to bring to this. I didn't go to college. I didn't get training in this. All I knew to do was to come into this and be me, be enthusiastic, be positive, and be genuine. And that has, I think, served me very well. not many people have known when I went through a divorce. They knew when my dad was sick, but I really tried hard to, when I'm going through things, I don't want y'all to know. Y'all need to be up and positive. And I think it's been so important through my career to wake up in the morning and make a decision. And that's kind of how this new branding thing I'm doing started. I woke up after it's been a long 2 years with job change and my dad passing my aunt and Philip's accident in the fall. And I just decided, I'm kind of starting to feel a little icky. So I woke up one morning and I just started posting. I organically decided to make other people smile, and maybe that would help start my day to be enthusiastic to make others smile. So I'm Gen Xer. I'm not a millennial, and I love Lori, and she has so inspired me. And watching Shannon and her videos, she makes me smile, and they make me feel good, which makes me want to exude that all day long. And so that is where my new kind of branding that I'm doing came from. I want people to smile. I want people to start their day out. It kind of makes fun of what's going on out there. Yeah, we're in a pandemic, but let's laugh about it a little bit. So that's kind of where mine has shifted, just to be a person who's going to bring a little brightness to your day. And I do warranties too. So, it just kind of, it works together. That's my story.
Okay. And Lori, do you want to finish this off?
Yeah. So I feel like kind of the new kid on the block. So I loved hearing the evolution of her brand. And I think that's really important for everyone to recognize that your brand will evolve, whether it's through circumstances going on around us or the progression in your career. I joined my husband's law firm probably a year ago, and I didn't know anything about real estate beyond that we had bought a house and that people are realtors, and so for us, I tried to look and see what we could do to try to set us apart. There's a lot of law firms that do real estate closings. There's a lot of title companies. And I tried to put myself back in the seat of the consumer. Was there something that was a missed opportunity? Not right or wrong, but maybe there was an opportunity for us to differentiate ourselves. And so this may sound silly, but I had come from the professional service marketing world. I had been in accounting, marketing, which are not the most, engaging personalities that people think of when they think of someone that's exciting or fun or they want to hang out with. But working with accountants, I realized there are humans behind the calculators, and so if we can humanize our brand and kind of set aside the actual transaction and maybe celebrate the moments and the personalities and the stories that come along with this transaction, then I think people could relate to us. So I look at branding as a way to help people remember you or to relate to you. And sometimes it's both. And, like Sheena was talking about with the cows, you're not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. So when we launched or kind of relaunched our brand about a year ago, I wanted us to be the Disney World of title companies. I wanted it to be a moment that could be celebrated when people come to the closing table. And it was something very simple. We sent offering mimosas. We sent all of our buyers home with a bottle of champagne. We were taking pictures with them. We were learning the stories of how they connected with the realtor. And then started sharing that. That was our form of marketing, was more spotlighting the stories of others rather than saying, here's why you should use us. And for us, it was successful. I think people, it was different, it may not be for everyone. But I would say, our brand is the personality behind the logo, behind the colors, behind the social media post. At the end of the day, real estate is a professional service, so we're providing a service, but there's a person there. So your brand, whether it is, maybe you're more buttoned up, you're going to draw people to you because of that personality. For us, we're a little silly. Sometimes you might find me in a Cinderella dress, and I think it makes people see that you don't have to take everything serious. So for us, it's been an interesting journey, kind of getting into this world. And we focused a lot on, like I said, the celebrations, those first-time homeowners. And that's kind of a niche that we kind of targeted. We work with every level of realtors, whether it's millennials or the veterans. But I think that being the new kid on the block, people saw something different in us. And so that's what I would say about branding. Figure out what you can do to set yourself apart. For us, it was, like I said, the champagne bottle. I want people to, when they think of champagne at closing, I want them to think of us. I post a picture of my husband's crazy socks that he wears to the office every day. You know, people started showing up with socks with pugs on them and giving them to him as a gift. You know, what is something that's different about you? It may not be related to your profession, but how can someone look at something and think of you? I mean, Christy has done an amazing job with that. These whole memes, they're about realtors, you know, they're about real estate. It's not always saying, hey, buy your home warranty from me. But now I've seen it on social media. There's everyone's posting these crazy memes right now. But there's so many times where people will put in the comments, someone get Christy Stokes on this. Like someone sent it to Christy. So she has positioned herself as the, I wouldn't even say thought leader, but like she's the first person they think of when they see something comical related to real estate. Kind of my thought.
Well, that's so helpful. Next, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the pandemic that's going on right now. Everything is different and hard and kind of crazy. How have you had to pivot your brand and your marketing with the new normal that we're living in, if you have at all? I would love to hear from each of y'all about that. Judy, do you want to start again?
Needless to say, the world is not the same place as it was 6 months ago. We all know that. We purposely did not go dark because we felt like that people were going to look to us as the industry leaders to give them hope. So although we do things in a different mode, there's still some things that we are still doing. We have created things that are, and on our blog, we've got the Judy Mack Team Safety and Social Distancing Plan. This is for people to see that we're very sensitive to what they're going through right now. Then we have posted to our blog something positive about what we're seeing in the marketplace, because remember, they're looking for words of hope from us. And then last but not least, we shared this not too long ago about recession, yes, housing crash, no. Recession, we had a downturn in 2008, way too much inventory on the ground, but we feel like that real estate is going to be the upward trend for 2020 in this pandemic. Again, people are looking for us to give them beacons of light and hope. That's not to say that we don't have moments when we're down in the dumps, but you can call somebody else to talk to about that. But again, our clients need to hear those upbeat voices. They need to know, hey, Mac, are y'all doing the same things? Do you still have your calendar out there where at the first of the week you do something that's relevant, either testimonials, the middle of the week we're doing a blog, the last part of the week we're doing our listings. They need to see us out every single day conducting business, even though we're wearing masks and gloves, which none of us thought we would ever see that. They have to see that we're the leaders and that we're not going to let that stop us in order to take care of their business. They need to know that we're there and that we're going to be relevant for whatever their needs may be. Thank God we are an essential business and we get to go out into the marketplace every day, because there's a lot of people that do not get to do that.
Shannon?
So I have definitely made our pivot. I'm doing what most realtors are doing now. I'm doing virtual listing appointments anytime I can. I'm wearing gloves and masks. I mean, I go back and forth on the mask. Am I making it worse because I'm touching the mask? I don't know. So, but I'm always wearing gloves. I go to the appointment. I tell my people don't touch anything. I open the doors. I do the lights. So stay 6 feet away. I'm doing FaceTime closings. I'm still offering my same exact service. I'm just doing it in a very, very different way. Every time I put something out there, whether it's on social media, whether it's through a phone call, I am acknowledging the current situation every single time. It's just what I feel comfortable doing. I'm constantly thinking, who is seeing what I'm doing and saying? Is it a restaurant owner? Is it someone who has been demolished by this virus, either financially or health-wise? I play and replay, what if I owned a restaurant and I saw this? Would I want to kill this girl? Like I really and truly put a lot of thought into it. I had an agent that I was talking with yesterday. And I said, how's it going? And she said, well, it's tricky. And she's a great agent. She said, it's tricky because my husband's doing telemedicine and he's in the garage. And so I've got these 3 young boys and I'm doing their online learning, but we can't be online when he's doing telemedicine. And so she said, it's a balance. And a lot of us are doing that balance right now. She may not be able to do an 18-hour day today. That's okay. If you are doing things exactly the way you were before, that's okay. If you are taking a pause, it's okay. If you've done a full 180 in your style and your marketing, like Christy, that's okay. If you're a mix of all of these things, that is okay. What we hope today is that this panel shows you that it's giving you permission for whatever you're doing right now, you're doing okay. We hope that you'll walk away from here and say, I'm a little piece of all of these people, or my way is not wrong. Your brand should always be evolving. It must meet the needs of the people that you're trying to serve, but it also has to meet your needs as well.
Love that. And I think we're hearing from tons of different people with tons of different perspectives today, and I appreciate that. And we've got the first two we heard from are realtors, and then the next two will be affiliates. So I would love to hear how y'all are pivoting and what has changed in your day-to-day and with your marketing and branding. So Christy, you want to start?
So as an affiliate, we can't go into offices. We can't go stalk our agents at the offices and at our open houses and all the things we've done. So for, once again, a Gen Xer and not very tech savvy, I've had to learn how to be more techy. So these Zoom calls, it's kind of finding something that's going to lighten the day for our agents, because they know that we're here, they know what we do, but what can we do to bring some joy? Is it a scavenger hunt? Is it a Zoom happy hour? It's amazing how just having no agenda and just talking with your friends and giggling and talking can make you feel so much better. So I have pivoted in having to learn how to do videos and retake like 103 times, because you're like, oh, those wrinkles, or oh, wow, you look old, or you laugh, or you mess up. So to have to learn to be okay with myself and doing the videos and figuring out what I want to talk about and how I'm going to talk about it and how to best get it out there. I know a lot of y'all got a VidReach, is one of the platforms that our company provided. I did a mass campaign last week. I guess it was last week. They all run together with a video just talking about some best practices. Well, evidently it went out to some people twice, some people to text, because of my lack of knowing how to do it exactly. So most people took it really, really well, because I'm trying. I'm just trying to learn these new things and implement them into my everyday life. So the posting on Facebook, the Instagram, the learning how to do the stories. What is the story? How do you do the story? So those are all things that I've leaned on my friends to find out how to do that. So I have definitely pivoted, just trying to be more of to offer value. What kind of value? And it may not just be about warranty, but can I help you do a video for a house you have listed? We did that at the beginning of all the shutdown. So there's lots of things that we're trying to learn to do to pivot, and I'm learning from all of you, and I'm just trying to bring some joy. So that's where I pivoted, just to bring joy.
And Lori, what about you?
So I have a little different perspective just for us personally. When this all happened, I'll be the first to admit this was awkward for all of us, and we took a very intentional step back. Social media has been what we have utilized this whole time to promote our business, to promote our realtors who are no longer allowed, really, or we're encouraging them to not come to the closings. We're trying to minimize contact. And so it kind of, we had to rethink our social media strategy because our content was no longer there. We're still doing closings, but people are walking in masks, they're running in, they're running out. It's not exciting. It's back to, for us, it's a transaction that's taking place. So we were very intentional in kind of taking a step back, assessing how this was going to play out, not knowing if this would be a couple weeks or a couple months, knowing that it wouldn't be forever. So what I've done in absence is kind of look at other content that we can bring to the table besides just closing pictures and the stories of the closings and the people at the table. Something that I would kind of encourage everyone to think about when they look at content and what they're providing. There's 5 E's. So I know people are wanting something to take away from today. And think about if you are providing education, that when you're looking to, what should you be sharing online right now, that you're the resource, maybe you're the resource of entertainment, that's one of the other E's. Maybe you're providing a smile, some humorous meme like Christy is doing. Maybe it's the emotion, maybe you're allowing people to relate to you because of the wins, the losses. Shannon's video that she did, I so it was a couple weeks ago of like, hey, some contracts are falling through, and that's okay. This is uncharted territory for all of us. The other would be engaging. I've seen Judy ask questions, on her social media that allows people to jump in the conversation, whether it's, hey, it's 5 o'clock, are you drinking red wine or white wine? And the other would be exclusive, kind of that behind the scenes, allowing people to see the process. So for us, I've been kind of planning our content and what that will look like going forward. So it has been different. And it's, like I said, uncharted territories. And also going back to what Shannon said, it's okay. I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer to move forward. I think you have to be true to yourself and true to your brand. And for us, it didn't feel authentic to just things being as normal, that, business as usual. It wasn't for us, and it isn't for us. So you'll be seeing some new things from Styles Law Firm in the next couple of weeks.
We all were getting a lot of questions from people who are not as established in their brands as you all are. Do you have any advice for people who are newer or who are just starting out creating their brand? I know we touched on this a little bit, but I think there's a lot of interest in hearing more about that. Does anyone want to jump in and start?
I would say your brand is not a logo. And I think a lot of people think that your brand is you. So what is it that you could be sharing that you're passionate about, that you're putting out there for people to consume, that just keeps you top of mind? Like I said, with Christy, she's not talking about home warranties all day, every day, but she's staying in front of people. Is it the same color that you're wearing every time you go somewhere? Is it that you provide free staging to all of your listing clients? So maybe you're providing tips and tricks. So I would think about what is something that you could continually bring in front of people that's a common theme that would make them think of you. That's kind of my very short version.
That's great. Christy?
I think you can't just decide, okay, today this is going to be my brand. I saw it online and it was really cute and that's going to be it. I think you have to look in your heart and who you are, because you can't fake it. You can't just, it has to come naturally. It has to be very organic, or else it's not going to come across as genuine at all. You have to be genuine, and it has to be something, whether you're going to be silly or super serious or super polished, or you just have to be. You have to be what it is you are in your heart and your surroundings. And I think that makes you more authentic and true and likable. And so in my way, that's the thing, that you have to do something that feels good for you.
Shannon?
I think one thing that's hard about figuring out your brand is we have trouble seeing ourselves. And some days I am silly, and some days I'm professional, and some days, so I have all these different moods and phases of me. So one really good way to find out what you should really be working on and focusing on is take people in your life, clients, friends, family members, and ask them some questions. Say, what are the best parts about me? And be ready to hear it, because you may be surprised by what you hear. You may not like what you hear. But when they share that with you, write those things down and expound on that. Really focus on the things that you leave an impression on people. If you don't like what they hear, it's never too late to change. A really good question you could also ask people is, when I go away from you, how did I make you feel? What were you thinking about on your car ride home? Were you happy? Were you sad? Did you feel smarter? Did you feel stupider? Like, what did I do that left an impression on you? And that's your answer. If you like it, then double down. If you hate it, then do some soul searching. I am very different than when I've started. If you've ever heard me speak, you've heard me tell the story of when I started. Lee trained me. So I was a realtor just like Lee, and I was all dressed up and I was in a suit and I was very stiff, and people were like, whoa, wow, that's not good. And so over the years, I found my rhythm. I still have the foundation that he taught me, which is professionalism, but I've learned how to be myself. And that was from feedback. Some things, it was from painful feedback where I was like, okay, so don't do that. That's not good. Some of this stuff was like, ooh, wait, I saw that. I felt that. That worked. All right, let's do it again. And let's do it like this.
That's great. Judy?
Few more points. I think you got to be authentic. You got to be consistent. I think you're constantly building on your brand. I think your logo is part of your brand. When we first started out, my logo was always in tune with your real estate needs because I came from a musical background. Not only did that serve me well, but as we have evolved, our logo now is Hustle and Heart sets us apart because we want people to know that we're not afraid to take on any task that they give us and that we're going to be the resource person to help them accomplish whatever that is with the greatest of care and love that we can show them. And Mickey will attest to this. I spend hours on the phone starting early in the morning until late at night returning phone calls because especially in the marketplace we're in right now, people need to hear your voice. So I think you continue to be consistent and authentic, and hopefully that spills over your brand and people know you by the company that you keep.
Great. We're getting a ton of questions. Let me see. Shannon, we've got one for you on how you balance content creation versus income producing activity. Do you want to touch a little bit on that?
Sure. It is hard to manage. And every now and then when we get to a certain point in the spring, I will get messages and people will see that there's not a lot going on. I'm not putting out as much as I can because sometimes the day doesn't allow it. I try to do videos that are about 1 minute each. And for a 1 minute video that looks like I just propped up the camera and acted a fool and then went about my business, that 1 minute video took several hours of editing, the right music, saying the right things, pushing things in the right direction. And it is very time consuming. When I'm on a full workload, I don't get as much sleep as I should. I work a lot. I spend a lot of time perfecting my craft. I'm always studying. I'm always watching other people. I see what Christy posts and I think, oh, I should have done that. That's really good. I watch what other people do. I see how Judy conducts her business and I think, man, okay, these are goals. These are goals. I am new to meeting Laurie and watching her style and how she comes in and just like spraying glitter everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, that's so fun. I want to be a princess too. It is hard to figure out because if you have back-to-back listing appointments, you're showing houses, you're typing contracts, you're doing the actual grunt work of our job, you can't sit and play with a video. So you're going to sacrifice certain other things, maybe a dinner with your friends, maybe going to bed early. I do make sacrifices with my time, but I have other seasons in my career where I'm not doing as many things, and that time is given back to me. I don't have a marketing plan as far as, okay, today I'm going to do this, and tomorrow I'm going to build this video, and that it literally is a moment of inspiration. I will wake up one day and be walking through the house and trying to get Billy to school, and all of a sudden I'll go, oh my God, you know what would be so good? I'm going to do this. And then I scratch a bunch of things down. I go about my business, and then at 12:30 that night, I'm up pulling videos together. So I guess I'd have to say there's really not a balance. You do as much as you can with the amount of time that you're willing to spend on it.
Let's talk a little bit about apps or tools that you've discovered that are helping you reach and engage clients. But also let's talk a little bit about things that may not be technology based. We've gotten some questions about that. Just there being too much technology. And maybe right now we have to use that a little more than we would. But if y'all want to talk about any new technology, apps, tools, and then non-tech based things that you're doing to connect with people. Anybody want to start us off?
I can.
Okay.
So for apps, besides Shipt and Amazon and ClickList, I am basically surviving on Canva, Splice, and sometimes iMovie. I used Canva before to do marketing flyers, to do all kinds of things. I have switched my business to online. When I have a listing appointment, I use Canva and create an entire customized listing presentation, and I send it to them in a PDF through Canva. And they can print it out or they can look at it on their computer. Here is, I printed it, let's see, I don't know if you guys can see this, the little C logo, can you see that? And then the middle one is iMovie, and the last one is GoPro Splice. So those last two are the things that I make my videos with for the most part. I'm using those things, but probably the thing that is the most effective with my business right now, because I'm at home a lot. When I need to contact a client, I am resisting the temptation to text them and say, hey, you got that invoice for the water heater? What I'm doing now is I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling them, which is not what I want to do. I want the quick response. I want to get on with my business. I'm calling and I'm saying, hey, do you have that invoice? How's it going? How long were the movers there? You guys all doing okay? I say, instead of texting, where are the garage remotes? I call. I say, hey, everybody settle down over there. Do you want to leave those remotes on the calendar? You guys doing okay? It's creating a dialogue with my clients now. I'm also doing it with my attorneys, with my with inspectors, the people that are on my team. Those people are your brand as much as you are your brand. Now is an excellent time to build your relationships with the people that are on your team. Another thing that I've always done is handwritten house anniversary cards. And I take a wacky picture and you get it on the anniversary that you bought a house from me. Now I'm doing how the hell are you cards, and I'm just sitting there and I'm writing. It's a page, and it's, you know, I'm saying, like, we're pen pals. So today I planted a garden for the first time. I saw that little Mikey got his first tooth out. Like, I'm very thoughtful, and I may pump out 1 or 2 of those a day. I think in this day and age, that means a lot more than me throwing up some crazy video of me washing some bread. So I'm probably switching to fewer technological things as far as what's probably being most effective with my clients.
Anybody else want to comment on that? I'd love to hear from all of y'all on this topic.
I'm also a big fan of Canva. I think it's one of the more intuitive and user-friendly design tools that's out there. There's obviously a free version and a premium version of it. But one of the things I would mention for people that maybe don't feel comfortable making videos or aren't sure what to put out there, maybe this is a time for you to review your current market materials or create market materials because you've never had time to sit down and do a listing presentation or design some postcards for a postcard mailing campaign like Judy was talking about. I think a lot of people get stuck on the starting point. And one of the things I've talked to several folks about as I've helped them with some of their design materials is Etsy is a great tool. So is Creative Market. It's a great place to go and find materials that are already written and most often can be customized in Canva. So, I mean, you can find a listing presentation that you don't have to keep, you know, all the content that's in there, but it gives you a good starting point. And then you can edit the content, edit the verbiage to customize it to what you're doing and how you take care of your clients. So that's something that I do want to like be mindful of, that right now in this weird time that we're in, it's not just get out there, get out there, get out there. We should be out there because people are on social media more than ever, but also maybe take this as a time to review what you're currently doing or what you haven't done. And like I said, there's a lot of really great resources available. On social media, another one that I would recommend, I've found several membership-based social media content stores. I think one that a lot of people know of is Agent Crate. It's very basic. It posts for you, but I actually have found several others. One I would recommend called 847studio.com and another one called keysandcontent.com. If you don't use they give you captions, I would say don't copy and paste and do it exactly as they give it to you, but use that as your inspiration or a starting point to create content. Not everyone is as confident to create a fun video or a campaign. You know, I love that Christy has been curating content. You know, she's finding these great materials, these great resources and sharing them with people that's valuable. These are 2 different programs membership subscription stores that are great resources. It gives you ideas and you can drop in photos of yourself. That's the other thing is on social media, when you're creating stuff, y'all put you in those feeds. People need to see you. One of the things I would challenge everyone that's on social media is look at your Facebook or Instagram and see which posts are getting the most engagement. See which ones are getting the most likes and comments. I guarantee it's pictures of you or you with people or out in the wild doing real estate things. So you can use these 2 websites I named for some of the caption inspiration, but still swap it out and put a photo of you on there. You know, you could be sitting at your laptop doing nothing, but reminding people that you're in real estate.
Judy, do you want to chime in? Oh, Christy, go ahead.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I discovered was when I was trying to do videos on my phone, then once you're done, then you have to go in and hit the button. And I just thought that looked so bad, especially when you needed reading glasses and you're trying not to wear them. So I found on Amazon this $26 little handy dandy light. You can have bright light, you can have dim light. It really makes you look a whole lot better and takes away those wrinkles. But you can attach your phone to it, and the beauty of it is it has a remote control. So you can just hook it up to your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth and just start and stop it, so you're not going in and your nose is not all to the video, because I don't know how to crop my videos yet. That's the next thing I'm going to learn. So I have loved this. Even if you still have to do 105 takes, you're still doing it, just sitting there at the end and smiling instead of having to go in. So that's been awesome. And then another thing, I've started using Canva. I'm just learning, but I have a couple marketing pieces fixing to come out that do have me in this marketing piece. And I found one of my girlfriends who I work with, an app called Cut and Paste, where you take a selfie and you outline it, and then you can put your picture on that marketing piece, and it's just that. So to me, this is a big deal because I'm just learning, but it's amazing how simple it is when you just kind of jump in and do it.
Judy, go ahead.
I am not a tech savvy person. That's just not my forte. And for those who don't know, my husband, Mickey, came into the business some 20 plus years ago to do all the things that I am deficient in. So anything that we post online or produce, Mickey's at the helm at it. The best advice we could give people is, as your business grows, then you can start to outsource those types of things to people who are crackerjacks at it. And not to say Mickey's a crackerjack at what he does, because anything that y'all see online, he's done it. But he has learned too through the years that there's only so many hours in the day that he can work. So the things that he does not feel like that he's proficient in, he's going to outsource it to somebody else. And then he's obviously going to be the person that proofs it. I think it's great to hear that in your early careers that you can do this. We couldn't do that because that wasn't available to us. The things that we did were postcards, because you were not to the point that you are today with all the sophistication. Remember, when I did those postcards, you had to do labels that you put on yourself and adhere a stamp to it. So there's been a huge evolution in the business. And I would just encourage y'all, look at different people that you like what they're doing, take some of what they're doing and incorporate it into your business. I think that people are constantly looking for fun things to look at. How many people saw him take that video of me trying to learn how to use a steam cooker? Please, I do not cook. And after I had that introduction, I said, there's not enough money in the world for me to cook now. I'll go assemble food, but I said, Lord, that's too much trouble. I'd much rather be out in this field working. That's not a creative surge for me. I thought it was fun because people get to see that, hey, she might not know how to cook. But at the end of the day, I think people want to see people do things in different lights. Who's that dog?
That was me, sorry.
Okay, I have something.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, so I have something to piggyback on what Judy just said. If you evolve your brand correctly, you're going to get to a point where you are marketing to people when they don't even know you're marketing to them. And right now, it's a sensitive time. And so if you work yourself into the point where you have established your brand in such a way, if somebody posts a video or a picture of you learning how to use your new ovens, like Mickey did of Judy, that particular post had 631 likes and 384 comments.
Okay.
There was not a picture of a house in that video, but do you think for 1 second anybody did not associate Judy Mack, she sells houses, Judy houses? No, that her brand is so strong that is marketing. I posted a silly video yesterday of like, we're all kind of bipolar right now. And I didn't mention an address in my video at all. Within 24 hours between personal and professional page, it had 5,300 views. I can promise you that people watching it remembered what I do for a living, but it's because my brand has been consistent over and over. So now I can put on my story. I use my stories a lot. I can put Billy riding a big wheel and people relate to that. And they're like, oh, that's what I'm doing during the day too, because my kids are home. But that's still my brand. I'm a realtor, but I'm also a mom. And so I share those things about myself because I feel like my clients relate to that. You don't have to share all of your stuff. It's okay if you don't. you can be just as effective. But it goes back to the point, you need to find what you're comfortable with, because if what you're doing is not real, people will sniff that out and they will run from you.
Hey, on another point, how many people have seen Chapel and Mac running through the house? Everybody loves those two dogs. And again, that's just another element in this stressful time, that we need lighter things for people to see, to realize that, hey, everybody identifies with a sweet dog and how much happiness they bring. But they still know that what we do for a living is we sell houses. But they see that, hey, these people aren't always business as always. They have these precious little animals, fur animals that run through the house. And we know that that's part of who Judy and Mickey are.
Well, we're getting tons of questions, so I want to make sure we cover all of this as quickly as we can. I've got a question for Judy and Shannon that says, what is the one marketing thing you've spent the most money on, or that you spent money on, that's been the most beneficial? So it's an expense that was well worth it, marketing wise.
The initial brochure that I did with Hobbs Herder, I'm not going to tell you what it cost 20 something years ago, but it was a fortune. That's probably the best thing we ever did out of all the other things we've done, because this set us apart from what everybody else was doing. Nobody wanted to spend the money, but we said, we're going to step up the plate. We're going to step up the plate. We're going to do something that's totally out of the box, because those kinds of pieces can differentiate you from everybody else. We think that we just thought it was a great thing for us to do at the time that we did it.
And Shannon?
So I actually still do postcards like that, and I use Vistaprint. If you've never used Vistaprint, go to Vistaprint. So I create my own stuff, and it usually has some kind of crazy, silly picture of me. It will give market statistics. It will have something current. And I go through and I leave a little space and I write little notes on those postcards. So I am still doing those. And it's not expensive, but it's a huge investment of my time. It does pay off. It's like a group of things that has been my best investment. And it's because of my little strategy here is with these videos for the moment. I have spent the money. I have an Osmo. I have a light that goes on the Osmo. I have a speaker that dampens the wind. I have a tripod. I have a lot. I've got literally, it's a bag. And so when I say I'm going to come with my bag of tricks, I really have a bag of tricks, because all my stuff is in a bag. And it's a big bag of audiovisual equipment that helps me do my homemade looking videos. Everybody knows that Memphis Media did not produce my videos. That is obvious, but that is my plan. It is a very personally produced product from myself, and people feel like they know me because of the style of the video. So I spend the money. I go on Amazon, I research, I listen to what people say, and sometimes the stuff is expensive, and sometimes I just can't tell you how much it costs. It's fine, it's fine. Don't tell them. But those things, when you find something that will help your business, you got to spend a little money sometimes.
And Christy and Lori, if y'all want to jump in on this one, feel free, if you have an expense that you think was worth it. Christy?
I'm loving send out cards also. We had an account with that, but Jason Wood started the send out cards, and it just has always meant so much if I've gotten one, and friends and the people he sends it to. So during this stay at home, that's been one of the things I wanted to learn how to do. And I've recently learned. So that's kind of creative. You know, you can sit and handwrite, which is great. And I think you should do that also. But send out cards has been kind of fun. The amount of different types of cards or fun things that it has is something that I really loved. So I think that's been a great expense to, you know, something like that to add so that you can quickly personalize and send something out.
What is that? Christy, what is that? What's a send out card?
Send out cards is something that you pay for, and you go online and you send a card. And the postage paid, you can put your signature in there. Jason sends them and will take pictures off of Facebook.
Yeah, I've gotten that.
Personalized. So it's called send out cards, and you can do a monthly fee where you can do unlimited, and it's very reasonable. So you can just go in there, personalize it. There's thousands to pick from. You can put your picture on there. You can put your picture with the person sending it to. So I'm really enjoying send out cards also.
I'm going to show the cut and paste app, Christy, that you use because we're getting tons of questions about what it looks like. Can y'all see
It's
that?
literally just called cut and paste. You take your finger and outline your body of what you want, and you can pop it on Canva, and you can do it all kinds of cool stuff.
It looks like a person outlined in green with some scissors, if that helps. Now back to Lori for that question.
If you're using Canva, there is a feature on there under the, if you were to upload a photo, there is an effect where you can completely remove the background too. It's not 100% accurate, but it works really well, I would say, probably 90% of the time. I was going to say, from an affiliate standpoint, probably one of the best investments we've made is in MAR. Being a MAR affiliate and sponsor, it's allowed us the opportunity to get a lot of FaceTime and interactions. I mean, that's where we have met so many of the realtors that do closings with us. And, you know, it's like I said, it's a little different right now because we're not all able to be together in real time in person. But yeah, we go back to personal relationships. I wouldn't say there's like a single software or piece of equipment that we've utilized. For us, it's been investing in people, investing in those relationships.
If you are not involved in MAR as an affiliate, you need to give back where you do business, and you need to be there and show up. And I think that is a great piece of advice, Lori.
Okay, we are kind of getting short on time. There is one question that is really good. It says the millennial generation is more informed about housing than any other generation, thanks to Zillow and things like that, which is why branding and loyalty is so important. So besides mailers, email drips, social media posts, what other angles are you realtors doing to stay in front of your clients every week? And we can hear from all four of you about this if you have something useful to say. So besides mailers, email, social media, what are you doing to get FaceTime with your clients every week? Some examples you listed were pop-bys, birthday calls, closing gifts, client gifts, things like that. So what are y'all doing other than the typical mailers, social media posts?
Whatever you produce, make sure that it's consistent. We're real big on, we just redid our website. We just redid our logo. Just make sure that things are consistent. If you see, this is our postcard that we send out to people. It's consistent. Here's our letterhead. And this is our business card, which on the back has our logo. Hustle and Heart set us apart. People, and I love to write hand notes to people so that they get something from us to say, thank you for spending time with me today. They love nothing more than to open something up that you've taken enough time to acknowledge your time with them. So we are doing a lot more of that. And I think that that's going to be the wave of the future, I think, because of what we're dealing with right now with this pandemic. They need to hear from you, not only calls. I mean, Lord, we all make enough phone calls and continue to call, but I think those handwritten notes are always such a beautiful touch that people so appreciate that you've taken the time to do it.
Shannon?
Something that I do, I have to get my information from social media a lot of times, but I pay attention. You may think that I am on there like 97 hours a day. I am not. Usually I post what I have and then I hop off and go do my stuff. But I do try to get on there on a regular basis, and I scroll through and I look at my clients and my friends and my agents that I love. And I find out what's going on with people. And then when I see maybe that somebody had a hardship or that something super exciting happened, I reach out to that person. And it may be a text message, but I will put a note on my calendar to follow up with somebody next Thursday when I know that they just had something kind of bad happen in their life, because I'm going to be busy next Thursday and it's going to go like this. So I will put notes on my calendar. Remember to ask Christy about so-and-so. And because I function kind of like a squirrel on some kind of like amphetamine, I don't have like this set drawn out marketing. Tuesday is this, Wednesday is this. But if I'm driving down the road and I see something, I go, oh my gosh, remember when I showed Debbie that house and this really weird thing happened? I shoot her a text. You know what I was just thinking about? Remember that really weird day? And so I'm always trying to connect with people and say, hey, remember me? Hey, I love you. Pick me, I love you. And so you can do that in a lot of different ways. But like Judy said, what means the most to people is that they think that you see them, that you're not seeing your paycheck, you're not seeing your business as a whole, that you see that one client and their family and their individual situation, and that you think of them.
That's great. Anyone else want to comment? Christy, we had a question about what was your light ring called, the one with the remote control?
I was just looking it up and trying to see without my glasses. Hold, please.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
It's a
Um,
10 selfie ring light with tripod. I'll send a screenshot. It was just on Amazon, one of the first ones that came up. Literally $26. So I'll send it to Kate so she can share.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we have a couple more questions. We're a little bit short on time, but personally, how are y'all keeping yourselves motivated while we're all kind of working from home or wherever you may be? And do you have any tips for that to share with the other members? Jen?
Well, I would love to say that it's power yoga and Zig Ziglar at 5 a.m., but it's not. The truth is some days I'm not motivated. Sometimes I drink tea in my sweatpants and I plant a garden for the first time. Some days, like yesterday, we were all discussing not if we have had a breakdown yet, but at what point in the game we actually had our breakdown. Some days, though, a client will text me and say, I need your help. That's probably the biggest motivator is when someone asks me for help. It helps me put on real pants and get back to doing my thing. When I spend time with my clients, whether it's on the phone or showing them houses, that will give me a little bit of energy. I also draw energy from people that I respect. I shared this in our little before thing that we did before we started this. And yesterday we all kind of went through how we're doing things. And Judy's like, get up, go to work, do your business, let's go. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know. And so yesterday somebody said, I want to see a house. And I was like, okay, yes, I will show you a house. All right, let's go. And Judy motivated me to be a little less whiny. Get up, go show a house. You're going to be okay. And so pull from people around you that give you energy, that inspire you, that make you take your sweatpants off, that make you want to do something productive. Try to call those people. Look at what they're doing. If you're ever in a funk, reach out to somebody. It is not easy to be motivated right now. The first little stint of this, I went more days than Lee McWaters wants to count without washing my hair. And then it became a contest because he was like, are you going to shower? And I was like, not now, of course not. And finally I took a shower and okay, I felt more like a person. But if you every day don't wake up and go, yes, I'm going to kill it. It's okay. You are not alone. That is for sure. And if anybody is out there every day saying, I feel perfect, they're lying.
Lori, how about you?
I was kind of stole my line about the power yoga. I would love to say that I've had the same routine every day, but I haven't. I think what keeps me motivated is knowing this is not forever. I think this is a season that we're all trying to navigate together. And I think going back to give yourself permission to not know how to navigate it. And it's okay to have those days where it's not okay and it's hard and it's awkward. And, I have several friends that are in this profession that I reach out to, and we all have different off days, and sometimes you just need someone to shake you and be like, hey, you get an hour to feel this way, and then let's have a Zoom cocktail together. So I think really like leaning on other people that can relate, but then also showing yourself grace as well.
Love it. Christy?
I think you nailed it. Showing yourself grace is huge. I think we have to be perfect every day. And sometimes our top looks like this, but we may have yoga pants on or no shoes or what have you. But going on those Zoom calls and and seeing our friends, I live alone. So I have been secluded a little bit through this. So when my grandchildren come over to play out in the backyard, that has given me the motivation to see my daughter, who's now schooling them and has these 2 toddlers, yet still works with me, that we all just kind of have to be up. So I look for Facebook for happies. I look for my friends, and when I get to talk to y'all for claims or orders or what have you, to know that y'all are doing good and that y'all are getting through this and how you're navigating. So I think we have to lean on each other. And if we get down in the dumps, make a phone call. Make a phone call, because it's amazing what you never know what somebody's going through or what their situation is. So we, as a team of MAR, we need to check on each other. So just reach out. You never know.
And Judy? Oh,
The bills from Google, Facebook, At Home in Memphis, mortgage payments, all of those things motivate me to get up every morning and say, there are people that depend on what we do to pay their bills. So we look, not that these other things aren't valid, because they are, but we're at a different point in our career. So anybody that knows me, my motto is get up, get out, and get going. My mother was that way. I have lived my whole life that way. That's not to say that there aren't days that I'm down in the dumps, but I just know that we are so grateful for the business that we have, and that God has allowed us to be a part of this season of our lives. We think we are so blessed beyond belief, even though we're going through some times right now that we don't understand. Mickey and I tell each other every day, we're Americans. People expect the best of us. We need to get out and show people that we can do that. That's how we stay motivated.
Love that.
Well, I could listen to y'all all day, but we are out of time. So I'm going to turn it back over to Kate. But thank you for that super helpful information. So Kate, go ahead.
Thanks, everybody. This webinar will be recorded and will be available on Mars YouTube channel. If you did not know we had one, you'll see it soon. We will take all the questions that came to us maybe after the fact or during that we didn't get to address, and we'll make sure that we address all those questions. So thank you to all of our panelists. We appreciate you. MAR is open. We are here. All of our affiliates, all of our realtors are working really hard for all of you. And I'm really very thankful for all of the people that came and tuned in today. This is such a huge one, and just know that you're not all alone. I'm going to share a little bit of information for what's happening next week. So we have a whole series that's happening. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen for what's happening next week. Let's see. So this month, in normal times, it would be Fair Housing Month, and we would be doing a forum and a fair and everything at MAR. So April is Fair Housing Month, and so our forum next Thursday at 10 a.m. will be about fair housing and community engagement. If you have not seen Ronnie Tate's video on our YouTube channel, please check it out. NAR has done a huge thing for us, and they have created a Fair Housing at Home whole campaign that we've been waiting for. And so Realtors Rise Up, fair housing is more important than ever right now. We're going to see a lot of things arising with our community and with fair housing that's so important. So please tune in next week. We have a killer lineup again with Regina, Scott Bettis, Jerry Curry, Kim Grant Brown, John Paul Schaefer, and Ronnie Tate. So that's what's happening next week. So I will stop sharing that. And then this is our moment to say, we love you guys, hearts, love everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And you'll find this recording on YouTube. Thank you to Christy and Shannon and Lauren and Lori and Judy and everybody that was with us today. We had a huge turnout, so thank you, everybody.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.